This is David Prosper, host of the Leadership Revolution. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast from Public House Media.
You're listening to Catch Up, an official news production of Public House Media.
Today is July 8th, 2020, and it's time to catch up on the news that you need to know about.
Today we're helping you catch up on the Trump administration saying they may ban TikTok.
Hamilton's debut on Disney+.
Quarterback Patrick Mahomes lands a record-breaking contract.
And nonprofits helping healthcare workers celebrate their big day.
We're your hosts, Dan Kotnick
and Madeline Cum. Welcome to Catch Up.
So, Madeline, let me ask, do you use the app TikTok on your phone? Do you use it at all?
So I don't make TikToks, but during quarantine, I did get sucked into the app quite a few times on the weekends. Now I've kind of scaled it back a bit, but yes, I'm very familiar with the app.
Okay, well, it seems like everybody else is. So TikTok, the mobile video app, if you're not familiar, has become one of the biggest, most popular apps in the world over the past few years. However, the app's ties to China have been a source of strife, especially within the U.S. government, and now the Trump administration, among others, have gone a step further as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Monday they would be looking at possibly banning TikTok and other Chinese social media apps from phones.
Okay, so Dan, tell me why this is happening now. Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
Well, so it's something that they've had on their radar really since the app came onto the scene. The app is owned by Beijing-based startup BitDance, and many politicians have expressed concern with its connections to the Chinese government, saying that they could be used to, quote, support and cooperate with intelligence work controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. So now it's not a unique situation to TikTok, as Pompeo's noted that they have taken similar action against other Chinese telecommunication networks like ZTE and Huawei. The U.S. isn't alone in this either, as India also came out last week, and they said they would also look at banning Chinese apps like TikTok as well.
Okay, so that's what the U.S. government thinks. That's what India thinks. But tell me, what has TikTok come out and said about this? I can't imagine they're too happy about it.
No, and for what it's worth, TikTok has tried to come out and do what they can to distance themselves from its Chinese connections. The company responded back to the secretary's comments saying, quote, "They've never provided user data to the Chinese government, nor would we ever, if asked," end quote. TikTok has also stated in the past that U.S. data is stored in the United States and that their data centers are located entirely outside of China. They've also tried to be a little bit more proactive recently, hiring former Disney executive Kevin Mayer to be CEO. And that was supposed to be a move to kind of rebuild the trust with regulators here in the United States and across the country. But you just have to imagine that this is going to be something that the United States is going to keep their eye on, as TikTok has just seemed to be growing and growing in popularity, especially during quarantine, like you said.
The popular Broadway show Hamilton made its streaming debut on Disney Plus on July 3rd, and that came with nothing short of a phenomenal success. Disney Plus received higher than normal downloads across the globe between Friday and Sunday, according to data from the mobile analytics firm Apptopia. Apptopia reports Disney Plus received over 266,000 downloads in the United States during the holiday weekend, which is 72.4% higher than the streaming service had received in the entire month of June, according to Apptopia's calculations. Similarly, Apptopia said 247,239 downloads took place outside the U.S., which estimates is 46% higher than average. So all of that math pretty much totals to over 513,000 downloads. Hamilton originally premiered on Broadway in the summer of 2015, and tickets for the show have been so expensive due to its high acclaim. Some have been as much as $1,000 on ticket resale sites, but now you can get the musical in the comfort of your home for only $6.99.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has spent the first 2 years in the NFL lighting the league on fire with his explosive play. And now the defending Super Bowl MVP is doing it again, off the field this time, after it was announced he signed a contract extension that would keep him in Kansas City through 2031 and potentially be worth about $503 million, a record-breaking contract, and not just football, but all professional sports. To discuss this more, we're bringing in catch-up news correspondent John Louder. John, how you doing?
Dan, thanks for having me.
No problem. So let's just get some details on the stuff behind the deal, because as anyone that kind of really follows these big contracts like that, the sticker shock can kind of be more than what the actual money is. So what are some of the details behind it?
Yeah, so obviously it's the largest it's the first $500 million contract in sports history. It's the largest American sports contract. It passes Mike Trout, who I believe is $427 million. So the potential complete value through the 2031 season would be $503 million. But like most things, Dan, we have to sort of look a little bit beyond just the simple number that jumps out at the page. First of all, there's a lot of outs here for Kansas City. It's actually a very team-friendly deal. Now, when I say team-friendly and $503 million, it doesn't really seem to compute. But there's only a $10 million signing bonus, which for a contract like this and a player like Patrick Mahomes, that's a very small number. The other thing is in 2027, when he's only 31 years old, which in this day and age in the NFL is not old, his cap hit would be $60 million, okay? I'm not a general manager, but I'm telling you right now, unless the NFL's cap jumps up by hundreds of millions of dollars by then, which I guess is possible, but I'm thinking is unlikely, there is no way the Chiefs are going to keep him on the roster at $60 million. So this is going to be renegotiated. This is basically guaranteeing that Patrick Mahomes is a Chief as long as Kansas City wants him to be a Chief. There's a no-trade clause, so they can't trade him, and why would they? He's the best quarterback in the sport right now, and he's incredibly young. He's only 24 years old. But this deal is actually very team-friendly despite it being $500 million because his cap, this contract added just $30,000 to this upcoming year's cap for the Chiefs. And for the first 3 years, his cap hit is very reasonable. So it really puts the Chiefs in a great position. They've already got 20 of 22 starters coming back for this upcoming season. And now they've got their quarterback for the next 3 or 4 years at a really good money value for them. So I almost feel like it almost benefits the Chiefs more than Mahomes, despite that huge, shocking dollar amount.
So there's been a run of quarterbacks recently and will be coming up in a couple more years. These quarterbacks that are sort of the new generation, probably looking for these next deals coming off of their rookie deals. Dak Prescott is one. Deshaun Watson is in that mix as well in the next couple of years. What do you think that this kind of does moving forward in terms of these next big contracts that we're going to see? Is this sort of a unique situation just because of how good Patrick Mahomes is and also how young he is as well?
Yeah, this actually is the most fascinating part of it to me. It's not the dollars that Mahomes got, because we all knew he was going to get the biggest contract in NFL history. This was inevitable. To me, what you just talked about, the other quarterbacks, that's the really interesting thing to me. First of all, if you're the Seahawks or the Eagles or the Packers, what a deal you got on your quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, they now look underpaid compared to what Mahomes is making. Deshaun Watson, you talked about. Trevor Lawrence, who's going to be coming into the league next year, and then eventually when he gets out of his rookie deal. Deshaun Watson is not going to get what Patrick Mahomes got, okay? Mahomes is in a class by himself at this point, so I don't think any quarterback coming up is going to get this kind of money. If Dak Prescott thinks he's getting this kind of money, he's crazy. It's not going to happen. But I am going to be interested to see what kind of deals these quarterbacks get as they come up to free agency, because how is it going to compare to Mahomes? Because typically what we see with really all the leagues, but especially with quarterbacks in the NFL, each subsequent guy gets a little more, a little more, a little more. First it was Russell Wilson, now it's Patrick Mahomes, but this Mahomes deal is so sort of far out on a ledge by itself that I just don't think you're going to see this repeated with other quarterbacks. Because the other part of it is not every quarterback wants to re-up for 10 years. It's so clear that Mahomes wanted to be a Kansas City Chief for life, which is great. It's good for Kansas City. It's great for him. It's great for the league. Does Dak Prescott really want to be a Cowboy for life the way they're treating him? I have no idea. I'm not in Dak Prescott's head. None of us are. So It's going to be interesting to see how this deal affects others. I don't think you're going to see anything quite like it, but I have no doubt that some of these other quarterbacks, Watson, Prescott, some of the other young quarterbacks in the league, even a Joe Burrow who just came in, they're looking at this contract, licking their chops. But I don't know if teams are going to reciprocate with a deal quite like this. I think this is a unique player and a unique situation that dictated this deal that I don't think we're going to see again.
So what you're saying is that next time there's a quarterback meeting, lunch is on Patrick Mahomes, right?
You know what? Everything should be on Patrick Mahomes at this point. And you know what? It's really great for everybody. Mahomes is such a likable player. He's a superstar. He's young. It's great for the league. It's great for the Chiefs because, like I said, I really think it's a team-friendly contract. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's great for Mahomes. I mean, he's guaranteed a total of $140 million no matter what. So he's set for life regardless. And the Chiefs now are in a position to win multiple Super Bowls, which I think is Mahomes' goal anyway. It's the goal of every quarterback. So to me, this really works out well for everybody. But I do not think these other quarterbacks are going to be getting the same type of deal.
John, thank you again for taking the time with us. We always appreciate it.
Great to be with you guys. Thanks.
A Massachusetts-based nonprofit is giving away wedding gowns to healthcare workers across the United States. That nonprofit is Brides Across America, known for giving away wedding dresses to military women and first responders, decided to broaden the group it serves due to the coronavirus pandemic as healthcare professionals continue working to save the lives of those affected by COVID-19.
We just wanted to do something to give back and at least say, hey, we're thinking of you. The nonprofit's founder, Heidi Jansen, told Today's Style, quote, "They're putting their lives on the line just like the military or a first responder, so this was our way to give back to them. We just thought it lined up nicely with our mission," end quote. The organization also ships dresses out of the state to other boutiques and other event spaces where local organizers can hold a showing for those who qualify to come to try on gowns. Brides Across America launched in 2008, and they are not slowing down anytime soon.
Thanks for catching up on today's news with us. I'm Madeline Kum.
And I'm Dan Kotnick. Please be sure to catch up with us again tomorrow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts.
We appreciate you listening to Catch Up. For even more content, follow Catch Up Digital on social media. Just search @Time for Catch Up.
And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stories we covered today. You know the drill. Just use the hashtag #PassTheCatchup on social media.
Catch Up is an official production of Public House Media.